Good morning, Wolves, and welcome to your Wellness Monday advisory lesson. Today is a whole school advisory lesson all about accessing mental health support here at College View High School. We're going to take a brief break from our asset education tools to learn more about what resources are available here and also in our community. And Ms. Kay, I'm wondering if you can take us away in just a moment talking about our objectives for today's lesson.
Yes, I sure can. So today we would love if you guys are able to identify how to access support at College View High School, and if you are able to identify different resources that you can use for support throughout our community.
Awesome. And so in case you don't know us, I hope you do at this point because it's been like a month of school. I'm Ms. Vargas. I'm your school social worker here at College View High School, and I lead our mental health team.
And I'm Ms. Kay. I'm your guys' school psychologist.
We also have two interns that you probably have seen but didn't know who they were. Now you do. We have Ms. Albrecht, our school social work intern.
And we have Mr. Ordione, our school psychologist practicum student.
Ms. Albrecht is in our building on Tuesdays and Fridays usually.
And usually Mr. Shane is here on Mondays and Fridays.
And so we want to make sure that you know that there are plenty of trusted adults and supports in College View High School. And we want to make sure that every student knows what these are because our school was built to ensure that every student gets what they need. So trusted adults are people that you can talk to when you're struggling. These people can be your teachers, your advisor, or your advisory group, and even the school leadership here at College View High School. And these people are different for every single person. Your trusted adults may not be the same as your best friend's trusted adults, and that's okay. You want to talk about structure, Ms. Kay?
I sure do. Our advisory is structured purposefully so that you guys are able to meet with your advisors and make sure to foster those relationships. And so our morning meetings, because I want all of you guys to know who we are as a mental health team and all of our other people here at school that could be potentially your trusted adults. We also have clubs for you guys to make connections with other adults and students. And we have mandatory tutoring where you're able to get help one-on-one or in a small group from your teachers, peer mentoring where you're able to talk to an older student, and our student leadership opportunities like our student council and our sports teams where you guys can get out your energy and play some sports.
Oh, Ms. Kay, that was great.
Sports are not my thing.
And so I want us to take a moment to notice the photo or the picture, it's not a photo, this image that I am projecting onto the screen. And so advisors, if you would like, let's go ahead and pause the video here and ask students in your advisory, what's the difference they think between equality and equity when we look at the photos? Go ahead and pause here and then come back in about a minute. So when we look at this photo, we see two different images. The one that is on the left-hand side that says equality, this shows three separate individuals who are all getting the same resources in order to access this baseball game. The problem is that this isn't actually equal because not everyone here is able to see the game. So look at this little guy right here. He can't see the game. He has to look through the fence. And this is when everybody gets the same amount of support. This is equal, but it's not equitable. So equity looks more like this picture on the right. We have three separate individuals and they are all getting specific resources and supports to help them access the baseball game. The adult doesn't need that much support in order to see the game because he's tall enough to look over the fence. The older kiddo right here has enough support from just one block in order to see the game. And then finally, the little toddler is able to finally see that baseball game because that toddler is getting enough support from 2 blocks to see the same game that his older sibling, and his dad are seeing. So this kind of aligns with like how mental health support works in our schools. Not every student is going to have individual counseling with me and Miss K. We're going to talk to you a little bit about how we support all students here at school and what that looks like with equity.
So the areas in which the mental health team here at College View High School supports are with your home things here at school, peers. We can give you resources about different aspects of help in the community, mental health crises, and special education and 504 plans. So the mental health team does these supports by doing one-on-one or small group counseling, doing our advisory lessons like we're doing right now, and our Asset Monday morning meetings, our family and teacher meetings, our evaluations and observations, and our multi-tiered system of support team and our student intervention team. And we want to make sure that we are supporting students in the most equitable ways possible. And just as Ms. Vargas said, that does not look the same for all students.
And so if we go back to this photo that I shared earlier, if every student got individual counseling here at school, what our school would look like is this image on the left. That means that every student wouldn't possibly get what they needed because some students would be getting way too much support like the adult here, and some students wouldn't be getting enough because we wouldn't have time to support everyone in the right way. Our mental health supports and the way our school works ensures that hopefully every student is getting what they need. MTSS and Student Intervention Team are a support group of adults that identify students that need a little extra support like this box here. Individual counseling and small group supports look more like this student that has 2 blocks. There are some students that benefit from just having those advisory lessons and asset morning meetings, and that looks kind of like this right here, like this adult right here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on, and we are going to talk about how to access mental health support here. So Ms. K, would you like to take a break from your team's messages to talk about resources for students?
I would love to. Our College View High School has a very important student wellness hub that has great emotional and social emotional resources. We also have a student and staff self-referral form for you guys or your teachers to make sure that they are referring us to you or you to us whenever you need additional support. I want to make sure to note here that these resources are to not be used for crisis intervention. This is for when you need some longer term support that can happen non-urgently. Also, we need to make sure to use our advisors as a resource. That is the reason that we have advisory, to make sure that our advisors are getting to know us and form those great relationships.
All right, and so when a student comes and talks to us, we do have a rule around confidentiality. This is kind of what it looks like. So most things that you share with us stay between us and you, just like when you talk to an adult here at school that is not a mental health professional. If you share things that make us concerned about your safety, whether to us or another staff member, we have to break confidentiality. The things that kind of cause us to break this is when you share with us that you have suicidal thoughts or you're thinking about hurting yourself or ending your life, if you have hurt yourself in the form of self-harm, if someone's hurting you, or if you are making threats to hurt someone else in our school community. So all of these things we have to report. Every staff member here does too, in order to ensure that you are supported and that you are safe, because your safety is the most important thing to us.
So these are the times when we may have to reschedule meetings with you guys if we have already promised you that we will meet with you on this day. When a student does have a mental health crisis such as this, we have to kind of drop everything and make sure that we support them just like we would do for you in that same situation. So we need to make sure that we have the time, and we might have to reschedule our meetings with you guys. We want to make sure that you guys know that that is not because we do not care or because we are just missing your meetings for no reason. We just want to make sure that everyone is safe and supported in the ways in which they need.
Remember the equality versus equity. If a student is in crisis, we have to make sure that that student gets as many blocks as possible in order to get the support that they need in order to feel safe. So if the mental health team is not available and you're supposed to meet with us, or maybe you don't have a meeting with us, but you'd like to have a meeting with us, here are the things that we want you to do from here on out. If you need support and the mental health team is not available, we want you to talk to a teacher or another trusted adult. Believe it or not, every adult staff member in this school building is trained to support your emotional needs. They might not have a licensed clinical social worker license or a school psychologist license, but they are able to support you with your needs. You can talk it out with them. You can also practice a coping strategy with them. If you don't want to talk to a trusted adult or a teacher, that's totally fine. We want you to access some of the coping skills that you already have inside of yourself to help you when you're feeling like you need to talk it out with someone like us. Use your asset tools of the week that you're learning every week. That's a great strategy. You can also write it out or draw it out, however you want. And then you can also communicate what's going on to the mental health team. You can send us a Teams chat or an email, but just know if we have a setting on our teams that says we are not available, that's because we're dealing with a crisis and we need to support that family or that student. And so we'll get back to that email or that Teams message that you send us when we're ready to do so. We'll never leave you hanging, but sometimes we do have to take a pause on everything to make sure that students are safe. Okay, so we want to give you a couple of resources. So advisors, at this point, we want students to take their phones out. If you would like to, please take a photo of these resources that are here on the slide. These are community-based resources. We'll talk through them very quickly. If you'd like to enter them into your phone, that's good too. I think that when you save a hotline number, you're more likely to use it. Actually, the research shows that too. So Ms. Kay, do you want to do Colorado Crisis Services really quickly first?
For sure. So our Colorado Crisis Services is a walk-in center where you guys can actually go or call if you are experiencing or someone that you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, and you can go there right then on the spot. A trained person will evaluate you to see what you need in order to help support you in your safety.
This is a free resource and it's confidential. Colorado Safe to Tell is the anonymous tip line that our school uses if you have concerns about a friend in our school community. If you submit a tip through Safe to Tell, Ms. Kay and I get that Safe to Tell tip, and then we're able to respond to that student without breaking your anonymity. So it keeps everything that you use to identify yourself private while giving us the important information to support the student. There's also the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. This is another hotline that you can use if you need to talk to someone about how you are feeling after hours and we are not available because the school building closes and we are done with work at 5 p.m. All right, Trevor Project?
Yes, and our Trevor Project uses trained counselors to provide resources to people ages 13 to 24 who identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community. You can call them, or I believe you can text them as well, and they're also a website.
I love the Trevor Project. I think they're really great. They also have a ton of wonderful resources on their website around coming out and if you're questioning your identity. So check that website out. The last one is Mile High United Way. This number is super easy to remember. It's 211. This is a great resource if your family needs some basic needs. So if you all are concerned about your housing, you need resources for food or clothing or shelter, this is a great place to start. We can also support with that too. But if it's after hours or on the weekend, start with Mile High United Way. Okay, now go ahead and put that phone away. So with the time that we have left, we've spent about 15 minutes together. We're just going to do some breathing really quickly, and we're just going to do this once, and we hope that you take this into your day. You can use this when you're feeling stressed or a little worried. It's my favorite tool. It's called the square breath. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a breath in for 4 counts. We'll hold our breath for 4 counts. And then we'll exhale out. And then pause at the bottom for 4. And let's go ahead and just do it one more time. So breathing in, hold, exhale out, hold. So this is a really easy tool to remember. It's just 4 breaths in, holding for 4 counts, exhaling out for 4 counts, and then holding your breath again for 4 counts. And you can do it 4 times. You might notice some really great changes in how you're feeling when you're feeling stressed. All right, so advisors, if you have time, we want to make sure that you and your advisories talk about anything that you learned during this lesson today. And we'll close with this question. What is one thing you will take away from this lesson? We hope you have a wonderful week. We are so excited that we were able to provide this to you, and we will see you next Monday for another asset tool.
Thank you for your time, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.